Good morning to all. Myself Rakesh Roshan Swain from G.I.E.T Ghangapatna. So today today we'll talk about like energy calculation. Okay. So we'll see what is the meaning of actually energy calculation. So what is energy? Energy, as we know, it is a rate of means before talking about the energy, we should know about the power. As we know, power is nothing but equal to P equal to dW by dt, or you can say, dE by dt. So rate of change of energy with respect to some time, like 1 second, 2 second, or with respect to some time, that is known as power. So if we talk about energy, energy is nothing but what? It is P dt integration. So if we integrate some amount of power with respect to some time, then you will get energy. Okay. So if we consider about energy, there are three conditions. Mainly two conditions are there. One is either energy should be equal, means there is no energy losses. First, second one is like energy should be absorbed, or like energy should be stored, or like energy should be losses. Okay, so three conditions are there. One is no energy losses. Second one is no energy losses. Second one is energy stored. And third one is energy loss should be happen, means energy dissipation. Okay, one by one we will see. First we will see energy store. Okay. So if we talk about energy store, there are two elements actually there. There are three types of fundamental elements in our electrical engineering. One is our resistor. Another is inductor, and third one is capacitor. Okay. If we talk about the energy dissipation or energy losses is there, then only resistor will consider the energy losses. So you can say here only energy losses mean EL. But if we talk about the energy storage, so inductor and capacitor can store the energy. We can say energy store will happen in case of inductor and in case of capacitor. And if we find the amount of power, in case of resistor, then what is P equal to, you can say I square R, and what is I? It is current flowing through the resistor R. And if we find the amount of power in case of inductor, then we can say V into IL. Similarly, you can say power here equal to V into IC. Okay. So one by one we will see what is the exact meaning of like V into IL or I square R, and V into I into C. So we'll solve a numerical on the topic of like energy calculation. We'll see what is the means with respect to the time, what is the energy storage, or what is the energy dissipated from that form, means fundamental elements. Okay, so let's solve a numerical. This is the graph we'll solve. Okay, so we'll solve like the question is like the energy stored by an inductor and the energy stored by an inductor up to 4 seconds. So you should have to means we'll calculate what is the value of the energy stored by an inductor up to 4 seconds when the value of inductance means as we know inductor means what? Inductor means it is a practical inductor. We'll talk about the practical inductor. Practical inductor means there are some internal resistance are there and inductance value is there. If the question is like find the energy stored by an inductance, then only L will consider. But here the question is asking like energy stored by an inductor. So practical inductor means there are some internal resistance are there and some L are there. When the value of R, you can say R equal to 1 ohm. Let's assume, and L equal to suppose 2 Henry. We can say. Okay. So we'll solve. What is the value of the energy stored by an inductor up to 4 seconds by this practical inductor? Okay. So as we know, energy store means energy. What is the value of the energy for R? You can say. See, up to 4 seconds means it is a graph. After 2 to 4 seconds, you can see the I value is constantly flowing, means 6 ampere, 6 ampere, 6 ampere. And we know that when the current value is equal, means when the current value is constantly flowing throughout some period, then it is called as a steady state. And as we know, in the case of steady state, the inductor will behave like a what? Short circuit. As you know, in case of steady state, the inductor is behaving like a what? Short circuit. So in the steady state, the inductor will not work. Obviously, means there is no energy storing, there is no energy dissipating in case of steady state. But in case of steady state, R will dissipate. And R obviously will lose some energy from that sources also. Okay. So if 2 to 4 seconds you will observe 2 to 4 seconds, there is a steady state period. This period is known as steady state period. So in this period, the inductor will be behaving like a short circuit, so inductor will not work. So we'll calculate 0 to 2 seconds only for inductor cases. Okay. So if we consider erasing this part. For R value, what is it? I square into R. And for L value, what is the L value? I you can say here this is the graph of I. It is the slope period and it is the constant period. 2 to 4 seconds, if you see I equal to 6 ampere from 2 to 4 seconds. But what is the slope of this graph? Slope means what? Y equal to m into x. X means what? T. So you can say m into t. And what is the value of the m? M means what? Y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. And this value, this point is suppose x1 y1 means 0, 0, and this point means suppose like what? 2 and 6. If we calculate m, then what is the value of the m? y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. And what is the value of the y2? Y2 value is what? 6 minus 0 divided by 2 minus 0. So what is the value of m? That is 3. So you can say y means 3t, and what is in the y axis, that is what? I. So from 0 to 2 seconds, the slope is like 3t, or you can say the value of the I equal to 3t. Okay. So I am removing this part. We will consider the L part. L part means what? You can say integration of P of t dt, or energy calculation. You will say the energy in case of inductor. P of t is what? V into I. So in case of L di by dt, B means what? Across the inductor, what is the value of the B? L di by dt into I of t dt. Okay. So what is the value of L? We have considered that is 2N. And d by dt of means d by dt of I of t means we can say d by dt of 3 of t. Okay. And I of t what? It is 3t. We have calculated here. And finally dt. Okay. So to outside and d by dt of 3t is nothing but equal to what? 3 into 3t dt. Since we are calculating this amount in between which period 0 to 2 seconds. So we can integrate from 0 to 2 seconds. Okay. So I am removing this part. So you can say you can here